Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So the pain and the misery is real in this space right now. We are definitely feeling it quite tremendously here. I think a lot of you guys are obviously down, well, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars down the last probably a week and a half or so. So not a great feeling for us, but we have been through this before, right? We saw this earlier this year where we were down quite a bit on the miners as well. And what was that caused by? Well, that was caused by President Trump there tweeting about tariffs and how wonderful they are. They are wonderful to his pocketbook, not so much to ours though. But eventually they will get, they will get nice for our pocketbook as well, because eventually I think Trump is going to obviously tweet, it's a great time to get in the market. And that's going to be a sign that we're off to the races again. In the meantime, things are coming down here, right? Trump tweeted yesterday about 155% on China tariffs there. My thoughts on that is basically if you're going to do that, you would do that in private. At least that's my opinion. If you don't want the market to crash, if you want the market to crash, you do it in public. That way, the market is going to go, to hell in a handbasket at that point. And I think it's twofold, right? So one, I think, is to pocket himself and his family there, but it's also to fight China a little bit on the rare earth minerals there as well. But there's better ways of handling it than doing it in public, I think. Okay, that's just my take. So we are part of this, unfortunately, and we are feeling the brunt of it as well. I'm down quite a bit here from where we were just a week and a half ago. In total, from that time to now, I'm down about 600,000. So definitely not a great feeling there, but we've been there before. The reason we're down so much now is because everything has run up so nicely here. So we're going to take a look at what happened with the AI miners, as well as AI BTC miners, as well as some other companies that are in the space. So I pulled in some data here that we will take a look at to see how basically the AI miners that we are in compared to other digital, not digital asset, but other data center plays as well. So we'll take a look at that. We do have some stories, obviously, on Cleanspark, on Applied, on NVIDIA as well, I think. Something to take a look at is in there as well, and then we'll get into Q&A. But first, we got to take a look at what's going on with the miners, Bitcoin, markets overall, everything else, and then we'll get into Q&A, okay? Let's get into it here. So not financial advice for anyone only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at what happened with Bitcoin. So one thing that I still like on Bitcoin here, at least for the time being, it is still holding somewhat to the 200 simple day moving average line right here. We dipped below it. Last couple of times, last couple of days, we dipped above it and actually got above it here. Obviously, the day before on Monday or Tuesday was a wild day, right? I mean, we went up all the way up to 113, 114,000 roughly, came back down here, but we stayed above the 200 simple moving average, so that was good. Today, we were down just a little bit. We were down 0.72% on Bitcoin here. Markets, everything else was down in the red, multiples of that. Today, we're back up in the green here, so we're back up above, I think I can see it here, maybe we're back above slightly the 200 simple moving line there. So that's looking good. So we are battling with that. How much longer we're going to battle with it and stay above it, I don't know. And we might actually come back down here a little bit more going forward as well. The good news is Trump is, well, they're supposed to have a meeting with Xi there from China. Hopefully we get something done by the end of October before the beginning of November, right? Because that's when he's talking about having the tariffs going into place at that point. So we'll see about that. Other thing that I saw today was also the percent of delinquents on automotive car loan payments. That has obviously spiked here recently. I'm wondering if that also has to do with the fact that we are deporting a lot of people, right? Those people had probably cars, had car payments, and I wonder if that's the reason why we're seeing the delinquencies jump up so much. I don't know if it's because of the economy, but because of that. So give me your thoughts on that in the comments if you guys think that might be a part of it also. I don't think it's just regular Joe having issues. I think it's maybe slightly to largely based on the deportation numbers that we're seeing here. Okay, in a way, it's good. Obviously, we're getting rid of the bad people that are here in the United States illegally and things like that. But it's obviously having an impact on some of the numbers that we're seeing here as well. Okay, so that's something else I want to talk to you guys there about really quick. But looking at the markets here today, markets were all down as well. Dow Jones has been down. Let's take a look at, Dow Jones on the daily. I mean, did we get to a new all-time high yesterday? We did. I didn't even notice that. So we came back down here a little bit. I mean, we obviously had a dip there, but we've been climbing back up here. And sure enough, well, what did we get? We got a tweet from Trump there, right, to bring the market back down here. So he wants to probably buy some more there in his family. NASDAQ, same thing. That one was up almost to a high here recently, and it came back down, crashing today. S&P, same thing there. Russell, similar story here. Obviously, not as well. The high has been a couple of days back there. Okay, Ethereum, excuse me. Ethereum was down today. Also, was down approximately 1.77%. It's up now in the new day about 0.63%. Miners, oh my gosh, miners got the smackdown today. Bitfarms was down 12.25%. We weren't down that much even yesterday on a lot of these guys here. BitDeer was down 9.51% there. Kango was down 5.09%. Cypher was down 10.087%. Cleanspark down 10.18%. CORZ was down 7.44%. Hive was down 10.18%. Hut 8 was down huge today, 17.22% there. IREN was down 6.1%. Mara, 4.58%. Riot down 8.13%. Wolf was down 4%. The Bitcoin holding companies as well were down quite a bit here. MicroStrategy got to possibly a new low here recently. The last time it was around this price was April, right around the Trump tariffs, all right, ordeal there. So it's back to those figures there. Galaxy was down quite a bit there, 13.2%. Block was down 2.33. Coin was down 5.4. Metaplanet was up actually 1.4% there. Exodus was down 5.67. Nexon was down up 0.93. Similar was down 4.17. Phoenix was down 0. It was flat. GameStop was down 1.36. Small miners were down for the most part except for DigiPower here. Everybody else was down at least 9.66, 14% for Mawson there. That one continued to bleed out a little bit here today. And then Canon was down quite a bit as well, 12.56%. The Ethereum holding companies took a beating as well. Bitcoin miner ETFs took a beating today as well. BitQ was down 6.86%. BKCH was down 8.26%. DAP was down 7.1%. And WGMI was down 8.37%. Those are definitely taking a beating there because of the miners. And then the Ethereum holding companies here, BMNR was down 7.3%. BitDigital was down 7.2%. BTCS was down 6.2%. Game was down 2.2%. SBEB was down 6.28%. And then going down here, American Bitcoin was down 7.8%. Wi-Fi was down 6.97%. Open was down 2%. Oracle was even down 0.9%. Nibius was down 5.43%. Soluna was down a little bit, 2% there. Bakkt was down 12.57%. Fermi was down 8.38%. That's down to a new low on that one. So everything in their uncle is getting, and their brother, and their sister, and their mother, everything is getting knocked down here recently because of the fears of tariffs, unfortunately. So it is what it is. We got to weather through this. This is a buying opportunity again, like it was back in April. If you remember how we were going down at that point as well. If you were buying into that, you made out like a gangster at the, just recently here, if you sold part of that. So there's still some more pain to be had here, I believe. Maybe things will cool off here a little bit by the end of the week. We got Thursday and Friday obviously coming up here. We'll see where we end up at, but it's not going to be a good week. Eventually I'm pretty sure things will turn around. It's just, we got to deal with what we got to deal with, and we'll be past this and be up higher in no time. And then we'll be talking about, remember the time we were down all this, amount. All right. So there's that. As far as miners here after hours right now, if we look at those here, BitDeer is up a little bit, 2.01%. Bitfarms is up 3.81%. Cypher is up 3.41%. Cleanspark is up 2.6761%. CORZ Scientific is up a little bit, 0.56%. Hive Digital is up, nicely now, 3%. Hut 8 is up 3% as well. IREN is, let's see where that one's at right now. Going up here. People are buying it. Where is it at? 2.32%. Mara is right now, let's see, 0.89%. Riot Platforms is up 2%, and TeraWolf is up 1.47. So we're up at least pre-hours, after hours, whatever you want to call it here on the miners. We'll see how they do tomorrow, along with everything else in that space. If we look at Bitcoin here for the month of October right now, let's see what we get here as the latest numbers for it. We're down 5.35%, so whatever gains we had in September, the 5.16%, those are pretty much wiped out there as it is. Bitcoin ETF inflows here for yesterday. We had positive, actually, inflows yesterday, 477 million here. Today we got outflows, 175 million here. So that's kind of interesting there. We obviously had a wild day yesterday on Bitcoin price. The price swing was huge on that one. Going down here, some good news stories that we do have here. Dark Side of the Moon reposted bar charts. They are waking up. Wait until they find Bitcoin. Google searches for dollar debasement soared to highest level in history. right? People are definitely waking up a little bit there, it looks like, and they're either going to gold, and then eventually they'll go from gold to Bitcoin. We've seen that before as well. Eventually, Bitcoin does catch up to it. We have the money M2 supply going up like crazy as well. So all of that stuff is going to rotate eventually into Bitcoin and the miners and everything else in the markets as well. So it's just a matter of time, I think, going forward there. All right. Next here, this is from Ernest Hamilton here. Cleanspark, even the market's pullback today, Cleanspark fundamentals remain intact, and McGuire agrees. Analyst Paul Golding maintained its outperform rating and raised his price target 50% from $20 to $30. So that is obviously great news there for Cleanspark going forward. And I mean, it's obviously what we're seeing here as they're moving into AI and things like that, that will boost the stock up even more. And a lot of these guys, IREN, right? Analyst price targets are between $75 and like $85. Where's the stock at now? Cypher, same thing. All these other guys are in the same boat as well. It's just the market is the market, and you got to be patient. You got to have some diamond hands and basically maybe sit on your hands, do nothing for a time being, unless you're actually buying here. Okay, next here we got this from Matthew Siegel here. Applied announces $5 billion AI factory lease with U.S.-based investment-grade hyperscaler. So this is approximately a 15-year lease agreement to deliver 200 megawatts of critical IT capacity at Polaris Forge 2, bringing the company's total leased capacity across North Dakota with two of its largest global hyperscalers to 600 megawatts. So this is, this is great news here, but the stock was obviously up 8% when it was reported here, but it didn't really lift up any of the boats in place as well. IREN didn't rise on that, right? And you can see here their stock going up obviously quite nicely here recently. Okay, so that's some good news for Applied at least. And then lastly, I thought this was kind of interesting here. NVIDIA, space isn't just for the stars anymore. StarCloud's H100's powered satellite brings sustainable high-performance computing beyond Earth. I don't know if they're actually going to be doing this or not, but it is kind of interesting nonetheless here. If we just take a quick look at it, it's like 8 seconds long or something like that. I mean, yeah, if you have something that massive, with that such a huge solar array, 5 gigawatt data center, 4 kilometers across here, I think it said. If you do that, I mean, you got power 24/7, and it's free after you obviously spend all the cash to get the stuff up into space. But after that, you could be running for eternity. Well, not eternity. Eventually, those things will break down or get hit by little meteorites. But nonetheless, pretty interesting here, right? We're definitely looking for the stars on these things, and we're going to need a heck of a lot of power there. So kind of interesting thought on that one. Okay, that's it for that. Lastly, we're going to take a look at here is miner stock performance. We'll maybe look at this. I want to look at the recent stock performance on these guys here. Okay, so I pulled in a bunch of other companies as well. I pulled in AST, IonQ, Andes, Oklo, Nibius, and Churchill in here as well, so we can see how they have done here recently. So this is from how much they've gone up from basically a month ago, from 922. And this includes obviously all the other miners that we talk about here daily, right? A lot of these guys are up still quite nicely here, even though we've seen a huge pullback here. So IREN still up 23%, Cypher up 15%, Hut 8 is up 2.5%, BitDeer is up 19.2%, Riot is up 8.5%, Bitfarms is up 28%, Cleanspark is up 22%, Hive is up 29%, Bitcoin is actually down 7.2%, right? So we're actually, I mean, historically, if this would have been the case here, Bitcoin was down 7.2% here. In a month, the miners historically would have been down like 21-30% here. So they've kind of decoupled from Bitcoin a little bit and more into the AI sphere now. Okay, Core is up only 3.67% there. Mara is up 4.36%, and then AST is up 46%. And then you can see here that some of the data center players, like IonQ, is down actually 22% from that time frame. Andes is down 7.16%, Oklo is down 14.38%, Nibius is down 7.49%, and Churchill is down, is up actually 37, almost 38% there, right? So at least two of those guys are doing pretty good, but the rest are not doing that great. If we look at the price percent difference from their tops, so wherever their tops were here recently within the last probably 2 weeks, where are they down to now from there? Well, we can see IREN's down 30%, Cypher's down 26%, Hut 8 is down 32%, BitDeer is down 23 almost, Riot is down 20%, Bitfarms is down 40%. It's one of the ones that's down the most here. It's also had a huge run up here recently. Cleanspark's down about 28.5%. Hive is down almost 37% there. Bitcoin's down actually 17% here from its recent high. And then we got Core being down 12.9, Mara being down 18.3, ASD being down 30%, IonQ being down 34, Ondes being down 42, Okolo down 38, Nibius 30, Churchill 38. So we can see that some of these guys here are down more than some of these guys over here as well. Okay, so it's not just the BTC miners going down, and we are seeing a heck of a lot, or at least I'm seeing a heck of a lot more comments about that this is over, the cycle is over, Bitcoin's going down, miners are going to be worthless again in a couple months here. I think they're going on a different narrative than they have been in the past. Okay, I could be wrong on that, but I think that's still going to be the case here going forward. Here, we're just having a market clear out a little bit based on one person in charge, unfortunately. But it is what it is, okay? So there's that. So that gives you at least an idea here recently of what happened with the miners here from last month to where they are now within the last week or so, from the tops to the bottoms here, okay? So it's not all that bad. If we zoom out a little bit and we look at here, we can see that these guys are still up huge here, okay? So when we look at the bottom of the cycle, which was back in December of 2022 and January 2023, basically, we can see here that IREN from that point is still up 4,250%. Cypher is up 2,400%. HUD is up about 850. Bitfarms is up 822. Cleanspark is up 738%. Bitcoin's up 527. Riot up 463. Marathon 463. Core 417%. Hive is up 222% there, right? And then when we look at the numbers from Trump tariffs, we can still see that a lot of these guys are doing very, very well here. IREN is up 666%. Cypher is up 507%. Bitfarms up 359%. HUT 8 is up 190%. Hive 206%. BitDeer up 125%. Riot up 136%. Cleanspark up 110%. Core up 112%. Marathon's up even 54%. And Bitcoin's only up 26% from there. So, and remember how everybody was crying at that point when we bottomed out at that level, how it's all over and everything else. And then look at how we've done here just in, what has it been, May, June, July, August, September, what are we looking at, 5 to 6 months roughly, right? And sometimes you got to zoom out a little bit. Yes, if you got into it recently where the miners were pumping quite nicely and you got in at higher prices, again, yeah, you're going to be happy at that point, right? But that's unfortunately part of the game here. You get people that do come in at later stages, they at higher prices, and then they feel a little bit of more pain than we do, than at least some of us that have been here for a little bit longer. Okay, so just wanted to point that out to you guys. Nothing else happened as far as miner news or anything like that. And then this will be available to the Patreon members as always. Link for that is down in the description. A couple bucks a month. You guys help support what I do, and greatly appreciate that there, along with all you guys coming in and gals coming in here to watch this stream also. So let's get into Q&A here. See what you guys thought of today. Yeah, let's do that. All right, Q&A. Let's do that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. As always, questions. If you guys have questions, preface those with a question mark or a Q. I'd appreciate it. And I'm going to scroll my way up and work my way down. I got in a little late into the comments for the stream here. So I saw a lot of you guys coming in here before I even had a chance to say hi to you guys. So we'll say hi now to everybody as well. All right. Sour. It says 30% of my portfolio wiped in a few days. This is huge. This huge run we had could get wiped. So effing dumb. Yeah, it's going to get somewhat wiped out, but I think longer term will be fine. It's just short-term pain for long-term gain. Sorry, Melon says hold Cleanspark and IREN. I'm still holding those. John, hey Seb, doubled my share count the last 2 days on the top for HPC and bought IREN at 52 today in a new account. Now I'm really goofy. Okay, you're buying the dip. Zachary says waiting. Okay, the all-seeing eye. John, I wish you all the luck here. Pitt says hello, Seb. Hello, Pitt, to you as well. Let's see. Sarmel and John is getting wild. John says I'm down 38,000 a week. Okay, yeah, I'm down, like I said, across the board of everything. My retirement account, my investment accounts, crypto, everything. On paper, at least, I'm down like 600,000. Not a great feeling. Obviously, we've had a huge run up, so that dip that we're having now is going to be obviously much more substantial than the dip that we had beforehand, where I didn't have nowhere near the amount of money that I have now. But I'm still holding strong there. Sorry, Melon says plugs about to get pulled. Plugs on what? MT, when IREN doubles in short order, there will be joy in the land again. I do agree as well. The All-Seeing Eye says, I already sold everything Monday. If another opportunity arises, I will invest back in, but may take 1 or 2 months or even 12 months. I don't think it's going to be that long. Right? What did we see last time with Trump and his tweets? Right? Eventually, when things were really, I mean, we'll be down for a couple of days more probably. And I don't know exactly how long. Could be a couple of days, could be a week or so. We don't know. But eventually he's going to tweet. It'd be a great time to be in the markets, right? And then things are going to go crazy again. Let's see here. Dan, well, poop. It's all over, isn't it? Never going to recover from this. F my life. We will recover. Just be patient there. Let's see. Sarmelon says, likely BTC going to sub 100,000. I mean, there is that gap at 92,000 on Bitcoin and CME futures. Hopefully we don't go down that low. But that would be like a 30% correction, which we have seen here in the last 2 years, a year and a half. We've seen that twice already. So that could be something in play here. We'll see. Let's see. Sarah says, my pull-out game is weak. So is mine. I'm still holding. Andre, this correction was expected. What was not expected is the speed and timing of it. Yeah, we wanted a little bit of a correction, but this is definitely a pretty strong correction here. Miners back to their old ways of giving back most of their gains. No, I mean, we still have a lot of gains in them, so I'm not too worried yet. All right. HB says, if you guys want to feel better, I had 1,900 shares of BYND at $1.47 and didn't sell at $7. Now we're back down to $3. Okay. We've been there a couple of times with the miners here already in this past couple of years. Trevor Guy, I'm out too, sold it all, and now DCing into the established AI companies. Nice. Just getting to be very risky after all the big run up they had. Might be time to bail from these. I don't think it's, no. I mean, it's your call there, right? Not financial advice as always, but I think we still have more room to run in these guys. It's just, we need to get this worked out here. All right, price target for Bitfarms this year, I think somewhere between $6 and $10 is still doable as long as we get a nice tweet from Trump there. Rob, this is all about healthcare. I don't know if it's about healthcare. Don't know. SK, question, do you think quantum stocks are overpriced? I heard some rumbles today or rumors, I don't know if they're verified or true, that the government there is looking to invest in quantum computing stocks. So I don't know if they're overpriced now because of that, or if they had a run-up day today. I didn't look, but I don't track them as hard as I probably should. I just kind of look to see where they're at, more or less. Sarman says, wait for download signal. I agree. YKY. Question, Mara had an announcement yesterday about HPC AI. They did. Did I miss it? I mean, I keep checking all of their, daily I check all of the miners' press releases. I didn't see that. Did I miss it? Let me see. Mara press releases. What do we get here? All I have is a conference call here from them scheduled. Did they not post it on their website, or was it just something else? Was it an article about them? Because here's the last one that I have for them. Let me refresh this again. And nothing. Mara schedules conference call. That's all I got for them. So I haven't seen anything on that. Okay. Travel Guy says, miners 2025. No one can guess that price target with these. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. All right. Trade Rookie says, SK Quantum is moving up higher in after hours. I think it's because of the possible news that the government might be buying into these guys. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Victor C. Question, Trump taking stake in quantum sector, would that help the miners as they are related to AI? No, I think it's a different sector, right? AI and quantum are two different fields. Eventually, quantum is great at mathematical things. I don't know how well it would traverse into the AI space with, language models and things like that. I'm not sure how that would work out. Okay. Trade Wiki says, my 25 trailing stop loss was triggered on WGMI, Wolf, and applied. Very nice. Anon, is this the bottom? I don't know yet. I don't think we're at the bottom yet. I think we're going to have a little bit more pain here. Trade Wiki, these are topics. How did you come up with those predictions? Oh, I missed those. Relative bottom predictions, Wolf 1150, IREN 45, BitDigital 315, WGMI 42, Cleanspark 14, Cypher 12.5, Bitfarms 2.97, Can 135. Okay, that would be nice. That's not too far from where we are right now on some of these guys. Okay. All right. Christopher, when miners, Max 7 gold and all sectors down, may have to sit on the sidelines till the smoke clears, or short if continues. Also, foreclosures are going up per Gemini. Foreclosures on homes. I'm guessing it's probably homes there. Sourmel says it's over. It's not over yet. Digital type relative price. So predictions for Wolf 1150, IREN 45, Bit Digital. Okay, talked about that. Cleanspark talked about that. Rob Ferraro, defaults on auto loans could be a sign of recession. Well, it could also be a lot of people are being deported, right? People also had cars, loans on those cars. Well, if they're no longer here to pay for those things, those are going to be reported as delinquent. I don't know if I'd like to know what that number is, the comparison to it, what the percentages of the people that are deported that are delinquent, right? Because if you're booted out of the country, are you going to make your car payments? No, you're not going to do that. Mortem, it's like I said before, Trump is the reason for BTC being glued to the floor, yapping nonstop about tariffs. That doesn't help us for sure. Yes, indeed, let the dust settle before going all in. Okay. AMR, Evening Seb, would you please briefly compare IREN and Bitfarms as far as future power data centers and price targets for Bitfarms if it follows the footsteps of IREN? Much appreciated. I can just quickly give you a rundown. Obviously, right now, IREN has more power, right, around 3 gigawatts. Bitfarms may get to about 1.7, 1.8, somewhere around there, gigawatts in the next 2 years, possibly, right? That's if everything goes well in their way. So there's a big difference on it as far as where the price is going to go on those two. I think IREN's going to go up higher, faster here because they have more megawatts available sooner to them. And they're already, becoming a neo cloud provider already. So the next thing for them to do is to report that they're at like 60,000 GPUs or buying another batch of 15, 20,000 or 40,000 GPUs, getting to 60,000 GPUs installed, and the stock's up to the races here. Bitfarms, on the other hand, is still building things out, testing things out, basically doing a project or a test site on this and hoping to get customers there. So you can't really compare the two right now based on that. I mean, you can compare them based on what they have, but as far as prowess, I would say IREN is obviously the better one there. All right. Joe Guy says, I agree with Sauer. I think it's done. The run-up was just too high and fast. For the miners or for Bitcoin? All right. GD says, nothing wrong with going risk off for little boys. Nothing wrong with that at all. Keith BTC goes lower first, 100,000-ish first, then up. Some respected TAs are talking about low 90s, then up. I'm not buying any more until this plays out a little more. Bitfarms, BitDeer, IREN, and BYND. Yeah, I mean, the low 90s, I would hate for it to go down there, but there is that gap on the CME futures. Now, gaps don't always have to get filled, but they do like to get filled. So there's always possibility that we go down there, and that would be right around 30,000 or 30% correction from the top of Bitcoin getting to, 126, 127,000, whatever it's been here recently. So that we have seen twice in the last year and a half. So that is possible, something that could happen. I'm not hoping, but it could happen. All right. Victor's got a question here. I have a Cypher at 15. If I want to split to another miner at current price, which two would you recommend? Thanks. I still think Cleanspark, even Bitfarms at these levels, and then Hive obviously getting beaten down quite a bit here. Those are the ones I'd be looking to get into. IREN obviously as well. I mean, it's had a pretty sizable pullback here. A lot of price targets are much higher for it as well. So there's quite a few that you can look into. SK, question is IonQ a good buy? Not sure. Don't know enough about them to say one way or the other. All right, Mortem says, I sold 1,000 shares of IREN at 70.4 to do a cash purchase on an SUV. Very nice. 2 days later, I began bleeding. Guess it was my spidey senses. Very nicely timed there. Artist one says Bitfarms can suck it. It's down, obviously. So obviously, I'm guessing you got it at a much higher price there. Bitfarms was mostly hype. The company is very low end. I don't think that they're very low end. I think they had a lot of going against them in the last probably 2 years. But they've definitely gotten a better board. They got better people in place as well. They're moving the ship in the right direction, I think. Concentrating more on the United States and AI as well. They're going in the right direction. So I have a lot of hope for them. GNC here. Question: has the Bitcoin bear market started? Based on the duration of the bull and bear markets of this previous cycle, number of days between low in 2024 to October 6, 2025 is the maximum length of the bull run. That would be historically what we would have expected, right? Has Bitcoin gotten a huge bull run here? Not really. I mean, we've only doubled from basically the previous cycle high, right, which was 69,000. So doubling that, we got us to 100. Well, we should have gotten at that point to 138,000 if we doubled it. So I don't think so. I think Bitcoin's just being suppressed, held down by the big guys right now, and it's just going to continue to run up slower but longer. All right. Paris says no. When we are the top, you will see heavy rotation into ETH and crypto that has not happened yet. Yeah, I mean, there's others. There might be other signs as well. Javen, do you know when Cypher and IREN to report earnings? Because I heard multiple dates. They have not reported anything. Cypher actually did. Did they say it? Let me take a look at it here for Cypher really quick. I thought Cypher might have reported theirs is going to be November sometime. Let's pull them up here. Miners, press releases, Cypher really quick. Cypher, yes, Cypher report is going to report November 3rd here. IREN has not provided a date yet, I don't think. So Cypher is November 3rd. Let me take a look at IREN really quick as well. On it, press releases, IREN. IREN closes, yeah, no news on them yet as far as when they're going to be reporting. Okay. We're already here at Q&A. Okay. JD says, damn, I miss Sleepy Joe. Excuse me. Bitfarms up to 409 now after hours. Okay, nice. Let's see here. Lionel, 75% of Bitfarms shareholders are retail, explaining the fear. Most don't fully get the pivot potential except institutions. What is the institution number for them? I would have to look, but I thought institutions were getting a little higher than that. Chillaxing, I'm not selling because it would be different if it was just miners. It's down across the whole market. Besides, if I sold, what stocks am I going to buy? I probably would buy these at this discount. That's also another way to look at it. Yeah, for sure. Rob, in order for the miners to rise, do they necessarily need the price of BTC to rise? If I'm not mistaken, a few days ago when we were rising, was it because of the reason of AI HPC? Yes, that was the main reason. I mean, recently the miners are running on because of AI potential, not because of Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's been basically flat this year, and you can see how much the miners are up from their lows this year. So it's not because of Bitcoin here. It's because of their AI potential. All right. TradeWiki, how is IonQ involved in HPC AI and mining directly? That I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't done enough research on them either to really... I think they're more into data centers than mining themselves. All right, AJ, please share the stocks you feel oversold and right time to invest. Well, nobody knows when the right time is to invest, but I think a lot of these guys have definitely gotten oversold here a little bit recently. I mean, across the board, more or less. I mean, we saw how much they were down from their tops here recently, down 30, 40% already in just a week. So a lot has been coming down. Okay. Cocaine, see the course, folks. It will get better in the long run. I agree there as well. Kevin, if you were to add more to your position, would you pick Cleanspark or Cypher? I would actually pick probably both there. I did that. When did I do that? I did that a while back, where I picked up some more Cleanspark, Cypher, and even Bitfarms shares at that point. But this is going back now. Oh gosh, this is probably now what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks back, I think, something like that. Let's see here. Oh no, Sebastian, you aren't one of those it's Trump's fault guy. No, I'm not one of those Trump's fault. I mean, there's some things that I love what he's doing. There's some things that I don't love that he's doing, right? So it's not going to be across the board that I'm going to be praising the hill there with him on it. I'm going to, just like I do with the miners, I do the same thing. There's certain things that I love about the miners, certain things I don't love about the miners. I'm going to, praise them when they do great. I'm going to hold them accountable for when they don't do great. So it goes both ways, right? You can't just be a sheeple, basically, to any politician or political party as well. You got to have your own views a little bit as well, right? And they don't always align 100% with the party, which is okay. So you need a little bit of dissent there sometimes. But, I mean, you can see Trump tweets something or posts something, and you see what happens. So was that Trump's fault? Yeah. I mean, was there possibly a better way to handle it? I think so, right? But that's just me. All right. Rob, question. Are we expecting Trump to tweet about BTC? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. Probably. He'll probably tweet something. HB, so if you had $1 for every time you had to give an end of year price prediction for a miner, would you have that 600,000 back? No, I would not. I would maybe have 600 back or something like that. Of that at least. AJ, when volatility hits or bad headlines circulate, we can sell in fear. Strong hands who think long term take advantage of that fear to accumulate cheap shares. Yes, that is also true there. David, question: is the 155 tariffs another misunderstanding? I don't know if it's a misunderstanding. It's one of those things that, I mean, how is it a misunderstanding, right? If Trump puts it out there himself, how is that a misunderstanding? Is it, oh, I didn't mean that. I meant 15.5%. That'd be a misunderstanding, right? 155 is there to spook the market because it was originally 100%, right? Market did come down a little bit, not enough to, I think, right? I'm speculating here. I have no insider knowledge or anything like that. I'm speculating. Market didn't go down enough, so we got to ramp it up a little bit more. 155%. Market started to go down. Right? That's just my take on it. Maybe I'm a little too cynical on that part. Gary, IREN is going to have a big announcement at earnings in November and will spike again. They have gone from $5 to $74 with only one small pullback and Reggie JP's Morgan price target. That is true there as well. Yeah. Pete, hi Seb, do you have a structured plan to start pulling back from your positions when certain price points are triggered? Could you share those points? If so, thank you. So there's no concrete points. It's based on what is happening with the miners or the companies themselves, right? Where are they going? What is their future growth potential? And as long as that growth potential continues to exist and they're executing towards that growth potential, it's hard to say, oh, I'm going to get out at the stock at $80 when there's still a lot of growth potential going forward for them. The stock could obviously run even higher at that point. So it's a day-by-day case, right? I mean, that's why I'm still holding it. I'm down quite a bit here in the last week and a half, but I still see a lot of potential for these guys who are going forward with HPC AI. And even Bitcoin mining itself. I mean, Bitcoin mining is still a profitable business for a lot of these guys, cash flow wise, right? If you include obviously depreciation and stock-based compensation in there, well, it takes a different turn, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Starmelon says $100 for IREN. We'll get there eventually. Let's see. Gary Pallet says IREN's pullback was same as Nibius and CoreWeave was 33%. Fundamentals was still intact. We'll be climbing again by next week, if not sooner. LUTs went up a lot on potential hype. IREN will move on results. Yeah, it should. I don't know if it's going to be within the next week or so, but long term, I believe we're going to be going up. Trade Rookie, trailing stops are a good way to lock in your profits, but they only work when the market is open and not after hours. That is also true. And sometimes they don't get filled because there's so many people that are selling at that point. It just goes below your sell point sometimes. Heard stories of that as well. All right. Morton says, people need to remember April. This is not the end of the world. That's kind of what I said in the beginning, right? The Trump tariff dance will take a breather. Rates will be cut again. A deal with China will happen. And then the rally resumes. Yeah, right? Rinse and repeat. Let's see. Trade says, at Gary Pallet, what IREN needs is a good contract. No, they do not need a good contract. They just need to build out their GPUs for customers themselves, I think. They give more premium on that than they do with contracts. Carlisle, question here. Hey, Seb, just curious, what was the reasoning behind us looking at Okolo and IonQ earlier? Just for comparison, to show you guys that it's not just the miners themselves that are down, it's other companies in the sector or in the AI data center space are also down as well. Right, so just a comparison there. Morton, IREN likely has a good news soon, but it would be foolish to announce now. Yeah, I mean, right now, with the markets being the way it is, you might want to hold off on that. Steve, you're the message to hold strong. Y'all, BTC coming to the rescue soon. Awesome. Thank you so much. Des Market Stats. I made enough money selling puts on BYND to be able to buy 400 shares of Bitfarms. Very nice. NG, I have added positions into Bitfarms. 5,000 more shares. Average up from current. Very nice. SH, I like very low-end Bitfarms. B. Riley Northland analysts just gave it $7 price target for now. And you know what will be next? Higher price target. Yeah, as well. I agree. Victor, hoping for some good news from Cypher on the 3rd of November. That's their day of conference call there. Yeah, it'd be nice to get some good news or at least some positive talk about future customers and things like that. Where are they in the process and things like that. MR, a couple of positive tweets, truths from Trump, and the comments section will be turned bullish. I believe it's time to DCA or hold if there's conviction. Sadly, too many weak hands. I agree with you there as well. We've seen this just earlier this year. GD, are you trimming any of your holdings, or are you or any scenarios where you plan to trim? If depending where we get to and depending where I get to, really, as far as my net worth is, right? If I get to a certain level, I might trim at that point a little bit, just to pay off some student loan debts that I have. Maybe some cars. I got 2 car payments. Maybe pay those things off. Little things like that. I'm not paying up my house because I have such a low interest rate house payment right now that doesn't really make sense for me to do that. But those things I'd love to get at least off my chest. I don't have to worry about those things. So, yeah, I think if we go back to the levels we got to, and then a little bit more from there, I may take a little bit off, like 5% off or something like that. Plus, I may need to take some off for the renovation of the basement here, because some of the things are going to be costly. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, Chilaxon, do you think Hive is good buy compared to Bitfarms, Cypher, Cleanspark? I think it's still a good buy, right? They're definitely, I like the fact that they're growing to 35 exahash next year sometime, so that's good for Bitcoin mining. And they're trying to 5x their AEI HPC business as well. So if they can do that, then the stock should do pretty well. All right, Morton says, the Trump organization bought $2.5 billion in BTC months ago and has not made a dime yet, but Trump is here to make money. The run has not even started, in my opinion. Well, they may be trying to get more, but they're also not just in Bitcoin. They're also in stocks and things like that, other things, right? So let's see. JD says, Seb is a critical thinker. I try to be, right? Seb, will you be averaging in the current levels for Bitfarms? Will we see this going to $15, $20 levels in 2026? $15, $20? On really, really good news, possibly, but that's still going to be really tough because them at them at $20 would be roughly a market cap of 10 billion, right? 10 billion market cap. So I don't know. $7.5 billion would be $15 for them. I could see them somewhere between 5 and $7.5 billion, so that'd be roughly $10 to $15, right? If they get good news, but if they get really good news, then we could go higher from there as well. All right. Victor, Trump could extend the deadline for tariffs. Yep, he could. He has done that in the past. All right, MT, please wish my wife Cheryl a happy anniversary for me. 26 years, and here we are hanging out with you. God bless her. Could have bought her a new house last week. Well, happy anniversary to you guys. I celebrated my anniversary with my wife last month. 20 years being together. Has been an absolute, it's been a fabulous ride those 20 years. We've had some, hard times. Obviously, when you're starting out in marriage, it's always going to be tough and things like that, all right? Especially when you're not making a lot of money. That's always tough here, but it has gotten better every single year, and it just keeps getting better. So I'm a lucky, lucky man there. And I'm looking forward to the next, 20, 30 years as well, as long as we have our good health and everything. So congratulations there. That's awesome. AJ, McGuire outperformed Riot, Cleanspark, IREN, Mara, Cypher. Okay. Guys, market stats. Congrats, Adam. Angie, according to CryptoQuant, miners have deposited 51,000 BTC to Binance since October 9th, the largest inflow since July. Historically, spikes like this often come before price dips. Okay. Interesting. Let's see what else here. Neil, I sold all of my positions and I am now sitting on 100% cash, and I still see the miners as a good bet, but only after the crash. Why not wait and buy IREN at $5 when it drops back down after? Well, do you really think it's going back down to $5? I don't see. Do not. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. MD, Mike Novogratz was on a CNBC and predicted a 120,000 year-end BTC price that is far lower than what everyone thought. Yeah, I was thinking between 150, 180,000, somewhere between there. So, yeah, if we get to only 120,000, so that's basically we're stuck where we are right now for the next couple of months, and then we're going to be going up. That's interesting. Okay. Rob, what miner company is expected to have earnings come soon that will pull up all the other miners up with them? I think who's it first? Is it Riot that's reporting first? like at the end of the month here, October 30th, I think. Is it Riot or Mar? I can't remember. One of those two is reporting there. But I don't know if that's going to pull them up. Let's see. Victor C. Question. Trump supports nuclear. Would it be a good time to buy a colo? Possibly. MD. This drop off does not feel good and reminds me a lot of what happened in November 2021 with a lot of head fakes after it topped what appears to be the reversal, and they weren't. Again, you got to look at what has changed from that time to what has changed now, right? You got obviously a lot more companies with Bitcoin on the balance sheet. You have ETFs. You got a lot. You got companies. You got countries. You know, everybody and their uncle is accumulating Bitcoin there. So I don't know if I still think we're gonna have an extended cycle here with Bitcoin here. We'll see in the next 3 to 6 months, I guess, if that works out that way. All right. HB says, do you still believe crypto will have a bear markets? I mean, we'll have bear markets, but bear markets like 15, 20, 30% corrections like we have seen here in the last year and a half, right? With institutions, even countries having Bitcoin treasuries, it seems like crypto might be moving away from cycles. Like that's kind of where I agree. I believe and I agree with you there. NG, what are your current holdings in the Bitcoin miners? How do you hold up with greater than 300,000, 500,000 drawings on your portfolio? Well, it's obviously split up between crypto, miners as far as stocks, and then I also have my retirement account. So it's across all those things. So, you know, retirement account is much longer term. So and that's also a larger position of all my assets. But that's much a longer term play, right? So I don't have to really worry about that. If I just look at maybe just the miners themselves, as far as how much I'm down in my stocks, position wise, I'm down only at that point. I'm down like 150,000, something like that, on those guys, somewhere around there, from where I was. Because with I know where I was, yeah, I would say I'm down about 150,000 on the stock side of things. The big loss was in my retirement account. Okay. See, Seb says that, Seb, at this rate, you may want to go ahead and frame out the bedroom for me in your basement. I'll give you a bunk bed over here in the studio, if anything. GD, any plans to add Bitfarms back to the Patreon sheets? Yes, that is coming in as well. I'm going to add them in. I'll probably add in also TerraWolf in there. I mean, we'll have the data that we have the data on them, right? We don't get monthly updates on them, but we'll have the data. We'll also add in Hut 8 probably. And who else was there? There was somebody else. I'm trying to blank on who else was that. But we'll add them in. All right, Sadie, thank you so much for the likes as always. GD, curious on your price projections on it. As far as Bitfarms right now, I think somewhere between $6 and $10 right now. Things improve for them. They could go obviously up higher from that point as well. Des Market Stats, do you believe in the taco trade? At what price BTC do you feel like we will a SBR, a strategic Bitcoin reserve? Oh gosh, I mean, that's a good question there. Don't know. Gary says people need to be realistic on price targets for those without contracts. Price will only go so high on Hive before colo deals signed, or if the NeoCloud GPUs are bought in, others need news. Yeah, I agree with you there. Karan, how high Cypher Bitfarms Hive can do by December? Oh, geez. Right, depends on the markets and everything else. If you know, we settle the trade war things with China, markets will probably start running up on that. We have rate cuts coming in as well. We just need to see how the economy is doing otherwise as well. I mean, the economy is doing pretty good here nonetheless. But so if all those things point north for us, I mean, Bitfarms, I mean, we could see them going back to like $6, $7, maybe $8, even depending. Hive obviously can go back up higher as well at that point. I don't know exactly where we're going to end up at, but I think higher. As long as the overall market's going up, those will be going up as well. Neil, let's see, $5 IREN, something in the water, don't drink it. MD, let's see, Rigetti stock is up 15 in overnight trading. Big move. Have you looked into this stock yet? Curious to get your viewpoint. I have not, no. Rigetti, let me see if I can pull this up here on TradingView, see what's going on with that one. let's see here, Rigetti Computing. Okay, let's take a look at that one here really quick. At least what we have here on them. Not going to get much details on it, but we'll get at least some. I mean, obviously you got to 58.15 here as the high. It's down to 36.06 right now. I probably should pull this up for you guys so you guys can see it on the screen here. On that one, let's take a look at financials here for them. What's going on? All right, Rigetti Computing Inc. provides full-stack quantum computing services. It services global enterprise, government, and research clients through its Rigetti Quantum Cloud Services platform. The company was founded in 2013. It's headquartered in Berkeley, California. Okay, interesting. So that is let's see, market cap 11.69 billion, debt 8 million only, cash and cash equivalents 425 million, enterprise value 11.27 billion there. Okay. Statements, look at that really quick. What do we got here? Total assets have been increasing, total liabilities have been decreasing, so that's good. Earnings, let's take a look at earnings here for them. Q2 25 reported, that's negative on that. Revenue, I mean, not much revenue, 1.8 million in USD for Q2 2025 here. But they are expecting, they're forecasting much more. So I don't know enough about them to really say one way or the other than the revenue is pretty small for their valuation right now. But again, you got the word quantum in their, computing, and they're in quantum space. That's going to fetch a high multiple for the possibility of something actually materializing out of that and generating huge sums of money on it. I'll hold off on commenting too much on that one. Okay, let's see. Talk about that one in here. Let's see. And the reason it's up after hours right now is because supposedly the U.S. government is going to be investing in some of these quantum computing stocks. Rob, crossing fingers that Kathy Wood talks about AI HPC data centers. When does she? Do you be interested in general that she might be talking about something there? More Tim, it was not healthy for IREN and some others to move so fast, so high. A pullback was needed to reload for the next leg higher. I would agree with you there. Those things have gotten really, really heated there, and we need a little bit of a pullback. Now, is this enough where we start going back up higher? I don't know. We might have a little bit more of a pullback here happening. All right, Gary, average market gains are 8%. We aren't going to get to the type of return miners have had without some risk. If you're still up over 100%, you're doing amazing. Stay positive all. I would agree with you there, Gary. Yeah. Right. These are risky, but you get great gains on it, but they're also very volatile, and you have huge down days, and you also experience huge up days as well. So par for the course there, I guess. All right. Looks like I've cut to all you guys' questions here, so we're going to call it a day. Thank you all for coming in. We'll monitor the situation, see what happens, and we'll wait for our lovely President Trump there to tweet something about, now is a good time to be in the markets. That might be a couple of more days, couple of weeks. We don't know. And hopefully they work it out with China there, and we don't get any massive tariffs on China on that. All right. So that is it. Love you all. Thanks so much for coming in. Hope you guys have a great Thursday tomorrow. And we'll see whatever else happens at that point. Okay. I'll see you then. Bye.